Assalamu alaikum. Let's discuss Satan and Satanism from an Islamic perspective. So, when we're talking about Satan, this word, it comes from, it means enemy. It means adversary. It means opponent. He is the opponent and the enemy of humanity, of humankind, of humans, of the children of Adam alayhi salam. And there's a word that's used in the Quran again and again to describe Satan, and that's Iblis. Now, Iblis, people have taken this as a personal name. I don't actually read it as a personal name. I read it as a title. It comes from, the best of my knowledge, from the Greek word diabolos. So diablo, as it transferred into Latin and then into Spanish. So el diablo is the devil in Spanish. And it comes from diabolos, out of Greek. So Iblis is derived from that. This is one of the possible readings. There are other ways of reading it, but I think that this holds, and also the word diabolical, devilishness, is related to this as well. So when we're analyzing text, whether it is the outer signs or the inner signs, we need to think in terms of descriptors, and we think in terms of the grammar. So we've got nouns, people, places, things, ideas including systems, and ideologies and whatnot. We have the descriptors of the nouns, and we've got the actions that are done by the nouns. So the things that they do. And we need to look at what are the actions that the shayateen take, and what are their characteristics, their traits, their qualities. When we read through the Quran, we see that Satan is related to supremacism. Iblis is the first bigot. He's the first racist. He's the first supremacist according to the Quran. It's a satanic mentality. It's a mentality where one species or individual or group is superior and supreme to another for reasons of birth, of gender, of sex or sexuality, of religion, of intellect, of income or background, related to their class, related to their nationality. So Iblis, he saw himself as superior to humanity because he's made of smokeless fire, whereas we are made out of soil, out of clay, out of the earth. We are the earth, in fact. So he feels superior to us and supreme. He also is very much, he believes, he's jealous. He has a certain view of himself as superior and better than us. And this is a mentality that many religious communities have taken over time, where they feel better and superior in knowledge or in birthright to others. They are derived from a certain prophetic lineage, where we know outright from the Bible and the Quran that it is wrong to think that any family of any prophet, peace be upon all of them, that a family would be superior to other non-prophetic family members. First off, because every single one of us, according to the prophetic tradition, is descended from Adam alayhi salam. From Adam is our original ancestor and our original ancestral group. We are all descended from Adam, and we could say from Noah as well, peace be upon him. So we are all prophetic lineage. And we know for a fact, 100%, that 10 out of the 12 sons of Nebi Yaqub, of Jacob, peace be upon him, 10 of them were corrupt and engaged in tremendous sin. According to some accounts, they attempted murder on their brother Yusuf and consciously and knowingly sold him into slavery or set him up for this and discussed it, plotted and planned it. There are different discussions about what actually occurred. They may have repented, but regardless, we know that prophetic families can engage in tremendous sin. We see that with one of Noah's sons. We see that with Adam's son Cain, Kabil. So we can never set any prophetic family above another. This is wrong. And it is against the prophetic tradition. Every single prophetic lineage has potential to attain spiritual maturation and excellence and direct insight. So this is something that's important to realize. Now, the shayateen, they will attempt to get us to feel superior to others. Now, they feel superior to us, and they will try to convince the cream of the crop among humanity, people who show certain talents and abilities, and perhaps have certain bloodlines. They will go out of their way to convince them that they are better than the rest, and they are superior to humanity, and they deserve more tax. They deserve taxes. They deserve that people owe them something for existing. That people owe them something for being alive and breathing air. Even though they may not demonstrate any excellence, and they may demonstrate the opposite of that. They may have no morals and manners. They may have fake ethics. They may be pseudos, fakes, artificials, unreal. They may be inauthentic. And that's what the satanic mentality does, is it is out of natural law. Natural law is threaded through all of creation, through kun and it is, be and it is. The reverberation of be and beingness reverberates through all of creation, and all of creation is sacred text. It's inescapable. We are nearer to you than your jugular vein. Anywhere you turn, there we are. There is the awareness of Allah. There is the glory of Allah. All of creation glorifies Allah, but you know not. People imagine that they know. They think that they memorize something and that makes it so, but they may never have direct experiential knowledge. They may not even have intellectual knowledge. Why is it that in the Ummah, did we ever have more than 10 to 15% universal education within the Islamic community? Did we ever have a large number of actually literate people? And when I say literate, I mean actually functionally literate. Some people could read or write, or they could read enough of Quran to do tajweed. Did they understand Quran? How many people understood Quran historically? Now, if you have a scholarly class that's educated in a managerial class, and often they're the one and the same, or they're closely associated, this is necessary to run a society. You're going to need a certain percentage, maybe 10 to 15%. This is a quite interesting number. So then you have a certain group of people who may feel superior in education and in class to others and in bloodline. Because then what happens is then those bloodlines begin to intermarry, and then they might feel that they're superior in certain respects. And we know that there is no superiority or supremacy among humans except in taqwa, except in faith, except in morals and manners, in adab. So we need to consider that Satan and Satanism is also related to selfishness. So it's related to selfishness and supremacy, superiority over one another. The nefs that incites to selfish expression is present within all of us. All of us need to struggle against the lower inclinations, the base inclinations, the selfish desires to take more than is rightfully ours, to take more than we need. And to not be of benefit to others, or to not provide what others need, or to take advantage of others' needs, and create dependencies. There are scholars and priests historically that what they do is they set up dependencies upon them. This is very prevalent among people who do ruqyah, people who do, pharmacists do this all the time, doctors do this, where they're not looking to have you be cured of a disease. They're not looking to have you know how to take good care of yourself. They want a repeat customer. They want you going to church every Sunday. They want you going to communion and putting money in that basket. They want you going to the confession and then giving up your private information to them that then could be used to blackmail you, to give them benefits in business and in societal interactions. To have certain secret knowledge that can be used against people. They use it in order to derive monetary benefit on a regular basis to come to them for advisement. And every time you go for advice to the astrologer, to the medium, to the priest, to the scholar, then you give them a donation. You give them a little something for their time. So these create dependencies, which are very unhealthy, and we are to be interdependent. The reality is we're not independent of one another. We should encourage one another to be as independent as possible, but to be healthfully interdependent, meaning that we recognize how interconnected and interrelated we are. And we live in harmony with one another. We minimize harm to one another and to ourselves. Well, the satanic prerogative is one in which Satan, he sees that we are competition to him. He feels like the jinn have been present in the world for a lot longer than humanity, according to some of the traditions. And they believe that the earth is theirs among the shayateen. Or that creation is to be theirs and to use as they choose, that they are superior in intellect. They are superior genetically or biologically or spiritually or whatever it might be. They're superior in knowledge and as far as the subtle and the obvious. And they see humanity as unworthy inheritors of the created realm. Unworthy caliphs of the earth, that we are murderous and corruptors of the earth. This whole event is proving them to be correct as far as they can tell at the moment. Because people are not only murderous with one another in different governmental agencies, religious bodies, warring on one another with words and actions, and corrupting the earth, poisoning the water, the air, the food, poisoning the discourse, censoring one another, preventing people from reaching their potentials, toxifying the educational environments, and creating indoctrination, mind control, brainwashing systems. They are toxifying. We've got so many humans that are choosing to toxify our own clay beds, our own genetic beings, our own earth. We are the earth. We are interconnected with all of creation. We are to be protectors of all of creation. We are to be guardians and guides of all of creation. This is what it means to be a caliph of the earth. We are to be in harmony with natural law, which it all comes down to non-harming. The Islamic ethic is actually one of non-harming, and where we cannot eliminate harm towards self and other in thought, word, and action, then we minimize harm to self and other in thought, word, and action. This is how we harmonize with natural law. We dissolve our attachments to false conceptualizations of people, places, things, ideas, and systems. This is to come out of idolatry, to turn away from idolatry and to turn toward truth, which is the only accurate Qibla, which is the only Qibla, the only orientation that we should take within life. This is how we prove the shayateen are incorrect, and we break their black magic spell, and we come out of this demonic, diabolical plan that they have set in motion, this net that they have threaded not only around us, but through us, through our clay beds, that we have become entrapped within and ensnared within. However, this does not have to be a permanent condition. There are going to be many that are going to fall into the earth, that will fall into the graves. That will be marching in the armies of the shayateen, following the sunan of the shayateen. Some will be genuine and authentic believers amongst them, and will not know that they go against the rightly guided ones that are part of the Mahdi movement. And they will not know what they are engaged in. They are just following, because the Ummah and people all around the world have been trained to be blind followers and to follow experts, and to hold experts up as idols and have an idolatrous relationship with experts and expertise, to see them as somehow more knowing and as more ethical, because some of them are supposed to live according to ethical codes and to laws. Now, these man-made laws, if they are rooted in natural law, are not particularly problematic in and of themselves. But when you have people who are engaged in criminality, which is Satanism, they are behaving as enemies to humanity, to the creatures of creation, to the ecosystems, then they are shayateen. They become heart-sealed over time. Through repetitive action, which is ritual behavior, they seal their hearts through a heart-sealing process. They sell their souls, so to speak, in exchange for material gain, in exchange for power, in exchange for currency, which is energy. Currency, money, is energetic exchange. And it should flow freely, and everyone, we have a generous, the truth is very generous, and creation is very generous and has everything that everyone needs. And we should be assisting others in assisting one another to have everything that we need. That's why I say that the Muslimin need to be on the cutting edge of everything holistic and organic, and have the intention to live justly. To be just means to see things accurately as they really are, to speak truthfully and honestly, and to behave in an honest, open manner, to be transparent and real, to be authentic, to live organically, purely, ethically. This is just. We are to be people of the right hand path. The right hand is always associated with kindness, with love, with mercy, with compassion. And the word compassion should never, ever, ever be a dirty word. And if anyone is engaging in associating the word compassion with negativity, then that needs to be checked immediately, thoroughly, and completely. Because that is wrong-headed, it is unethical, and it is satanic. That is saying such things about, saying that compassion, which is a name of Allah, and a practice, like we say Bismillahirrahmanirrahim again and again and again throughout the day for every single action as Muslimin. This is something we're supposed to do every single time we read Quran. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. These are not merely words. These are practices. These are behaviors. These are energetic purifications. And we need to make sure that we live accordingly. Compassion should never be seen as an ugly, dirty thing. It is not. We need to make sure that we are protecting all of creation, including ourselves and our flesh. Those who are behaving as enemies to humanity, enemies to the Ummah, by preventing us from reaching our potential, from thinking freely and properly about life. Does the Quran ever say not to think freely? Why is it that you have people talking about the Zindics and the free thinkers? You know, I mean, like, so thousands of people were murdered in cold blood for thinking freely. If we have further evidence, it's time to present this thoroughly so that we can understand why we are not supposed to think in a proper manner, why we are not allowed to contemplate and speak freely and think freely and have a proper, healthy discourse within the Ummah. To shut down discourse and to censor is satanic. We should be ethical in our discourse. We should be honest and just in our discourse. We should be merciful, compassionate, and kind in our discourse. We should be thoroughgoing in our discourse, logical and rational, contemplative and prayerful in our discourse. And we should be honoring the best of the prophetic tradition when we have discussions. Most debates are not healthy. And a lot of people that are into debate actually are Satanists. Now, I'm not talking about they go to satanic circles and do Latin mass backwards or something like that. What I'm saying is they behave in mocking ways. They are mockers. They disrespect others. They engage in name-calling and fitna. If you analyze their characteristics and their qualities, their actions, what do they do on a consistent basis? What kind of things are they doing to cultivate and develop community that is healthy? Or are they destroying community? Are they warring on people with their words? Look at their blogs. Look at their tweets. Look at their videos. Are they at war with the Christians? Are they at war with different Muslim groups? Are they at war with various secular groups? How many people are they at war with? This is very unhealthy and problematic Islamically. The Muslims, we should be the most ethical, pure people in the world. We should have the best scholars in every single art and science. We should be on the cutting edge. People should know the Muslims for having the most ethical and pure business practices. Everybody should want to do business with the Muslims, not because the Muslims think that they're the best, not because the Muslims keep on patting themselves on the back and saying we're the most awesome community ever, because that's a lie. It's disingenuous and it's problematic and unhealthy. We do not say we are the best. People after us say we're the best. Outsiders say we're the best. And it must be lived and practiced. If it is not, it is wrong. We do not want to be people of delusion. So it's very important that we live in an ethical manner and in a healthy manner in our business practice, and that we have cutting edge, really interesting ideas for what to do to come out of this devil tech era that we are enmeshed in. And what do we do on the other side of that? We need visionaries. We need people who are actually dreaming really beautiful visions for a spiritual caliphate all around the world, with where we can be protectors of the ecosystems and of all creatures and of all humanity, where we can heal our families and our marriage relationships and live beautiful lives and help our children to reach their complete potentials and travel the world and get to understand all the different inheritance that is theirs, all the different intellectual and contemplative traditions that are in harmony and in harmony with an Islamic worldview and practice, and compatible with it. That then, as we study the different intellectual and spiritual traditions and sciences, then it gives us new lenses to reread the Quran in fresh ways, and to reread the outer and the inner signs in ways that help us to reach our perfection, to reach our completeness, our completion, our spiritual maturation. May we come out of all Satanism, out of all selfishness, out of all unhealthy patterns that are supremacist or inferiority complexes. Because an inferiority or a supremacy complex is both unreal, it is disingenuous, it is delusional, and it is out of harmony with natural law. So we need to be in harmony with natural law, and we need to harmonize our relationships and heal the rifts once and for all. And this does not mean fake peace treaties between communities and between states. No, it means the people need to make peace within their hearts, within their bodies and minds, unify the body and mind, harmonize our relationships with our husbands and wives, with our children, with our parents, with our families and communities. And where there are rifts between peoples historically, we need to find connecting points and see where we need to atone. Are there things that Muslims did that were harmful to non-Muslim peoples? Let our visionaries now think, what would be some really beautiful things that we could do to heal the rift and collaborate with other people toward an excellent fresh start in the world. So let's rethink everything now, because we have been lied to about so much, and this has become very apparent. This is the time of awakening and the time of purification. Engage in holistic tobin, holistic tazkiyah. Go into tawakkul, egoless flow states, letting go of all unhealthy attachments to false conceptualizations of people, places, things, and ideas, including unhealthy, wrong-headed inferiority complexes and superiority complexes. Come into balance, realize our interconnectedness with one another, and become a protector and a guardian of all of humanity, including the Muslim Ummah and beyond, and in all of creation, including all of creatures. So may we engage in ethical and pure behavior in thought, word, and deed towards self and toward other, and come out of the devil tech era once and for all. Come out of all diabolical devilry, all satanic worldview, and stop behaving according to survival of the fittest that's predatory, and go into harmony with actual factual natural law, which is always according to the Islamic ethic of non-harming, of eliminating and minimizing harm towards self and other in thought, word, and deed. Until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.